Thoughts are a cage. 99% of your pain is created by your own mind. You are not really thinking. You are only a prisoner of logic. True wisdom only appears in the moment when thinking completely stops. Let us begin with a very small test, even if it lasts for only 5 seconds. Wherever you are right now, whether you are on a train during your commute or sitting in a quiet room, try to stop every thought in your mind at this very moment. Do not think about what just happened. Do not replay even the small regret from 1 minute ago. Do not think about what you need to do next. Do not even think about this experiment of making the mind quiet. Let your mind, which is always running, become completely. Let it become like the surface of a quiet lake, without a single ripple. Can you do it? For most people, you will immediately discover a discouraging truth. This is almost impossible. The very moment you try to use reason to suppress your thoughts, the very moment you try to make the mind quiet, a new thought has already jumped out like a spring. You may say to yourself, does this count as being, or you may begin to question, what is the point of doing this experiment? Or perhaps your mind has already run away like a wild horse. It has gone to tonight's dinner. It has gone to tomorrow morning's work. It has gone to your bank account. It has gone to your children. It has gone to your health results. It has gone to a conversation from long ago that still makes you uncomfortable. You see, as long as you have even a little awareness, you will notice that the voice inside your head has never truly stopped. If you failed during those 5 seconds, if you truly heard that noisy voice in your mind that you cannot control, then welcome to the real world. Before we continue to explore how to move beyond this kind of mental exhaustion, I invite you to take 1 second to subscribe to this channel and give this video a like. I also sincerely hope you will leave a comment below and honestly write down the exact thought that broke your 5 seconds of silence. Was it an email you have not replied to? Was it next month's mortgage? Was it your retirement plan? Was it the attitude of someone in your family? Or was it a small complaint toward a certain person? Write down the exact thought that jumped into your mind and face it honestly. Because the moment you can clearly write down that thought, you have already taken a very important step. You have begun to see the mental program that has been secretly controlling you. This is the first painful but very real truth that we must face today. You have always lived inside a great illusion. You believe that you are actively using your brain. But in reality, your brain is using you at every moment. That voice in your head that talks day and night, that voice that keeps judging everything around you, that keeps finding fault with yourself and others, that keeps creating all kinds of frightening futures, has already taken control. It has become the ruler of your daily life. In modern society, we usually give this endless movement of the brain a pleasant name. We call it thinking. We admire thinking. We believe thinking is the key to solving our problems in life, family, career, and money. But from a deeper psychological and cognitive level, most of what you call thinking every day is not solving problems at all. It is only chewing the same worry again and again. It is only replaying the same scene again and again. It is only torturing a heart that is already tired. It is not clear thinking. It is habit. It is not wisdom. It is repetition. It is not solving the problem. It is creating more problems. Let us return to real life and imagine a very ordinary situation. Suppose this afternoon you had a slightly awkward social conversation. Maybe it happened at a business gathering. Maybe it happened during a community event. Maybe it was only a casual conversation with an old friend. You tried to make the mood lighter, so you said something that you thought was funny, but the room suddenly became quiet. Now 3 full hours have passed. You have washed up. You are lying comfortably in bed, ready to let your body rest. But at this moment, your brain becomes like a movie projector that you cannot control. It begins to rewind automatically. It plays that awkward conversation again in your mind. It stops very precisely at the moment when you said the wrong thing. Then the voice inside your mind begins to criticize you. It asks you, why did you say that? Why could you not be more calm? The other person must think you are ridiculous now. They may already have labeled you as unreliable in their mind. You feel restless. You try to turn over, bury your face in the pillow, and forget everything, but your brain refuses to let you go. It becomes like a strict prosecutor. It starts bringing up old cases. It starts making unnecessary connections. It reminds you that you made a similar mistake in another situation. It tells you that you are not smooth enough, not wise enough, not careful enough. It may even go further. It says this is why you have never felt truly relaxed after so many years of work. This is why you always miss opportunities. This is why you try so hard, yet still feel stuck in life. Under this continuous inner attack, your heartbeat begins to speed up. Your chest begins to feel tight. The sleepiness that had finally arrived disappears completely in the middle of the night. Please ask yourself calmly afterward. During this painful process, did you consciously choose to think about these painful things? If you made a rational choice, of course you would choose to sleep peacefully. Because tomorrow you still have things to do. You still need energy to face the changes of life and the responsibilities of reality. But the truth is, you cannot stop. The voice in your mind is like a non-stop narrator living inside you. It makes noise in your ears day and night. You cannot drive it away. You cannot even truly cover your ears. This kind of uncontrolled compulsive thinking is the root of most modern pain. We have more convenient living conditions than people in the past. We have more comfortable homes. We have better medical resources. We have tools that allow us to contact family and friends at any time. We also have more channels to receive knowledge and information. But our inner peace is being crushed again and again by this biological machine that has lost balance. To solve this difficulty, we must first clarify one very important truth at the level of awareness. Pain and suffering are not the same thing. During the long journey of life, unpleasant things will happen. This is part of life. For example, you may experience investment changes and see your wealth shrink. You may face changes in your company and lose a stable job. You may go through distance in a relationship. You may reach a certain age and suddenly feel that your body is not as strong as before. These objective events can indeed bring pressure in real life. They can bring physical discomfort. They can bring emotional pain. This is pain. It is a part of life that cannot be completely avoided. But suffering is something different. Suffering is the product of your uncontrolled mind after it processes these objective events. Losing a job itself is only an objective fact. It means that your relationship with your previous work has ended. It means that you temporarily lost a fixed source of income. Facing this fact, the rational response is to update your resume, review your resources, look for new opportunities, or use this period to redesign the direction of your life. But your brain often does not stay at the level of fact. It starts creating suffering for you. It tells you that losing a job means you are a failure. It means you have no value in society. It means your family and friends will look down on you. It means your future has no hope. You see, what truly takes away your inner strength is often not the event itself. It is the catastrophic interpretation your brain adds to the event. Our thoughts are very old in many ways. They are only a collection of past memories, old wounds, social beliefs, family education, and the fears carried in human biology. When you always try to use this old and incomplete mental program to deal with every new moment of life, you will naturally fall into a cycle of inner exhaustion. In this process, the biggest cognitive mistake human beings make is this. We mistake I think for I am. You naturally believe that the voice speaking inside your head, the thing that produces thoughts, is your soul or your true nature. So you believe when that voice says harshly, "You are terrible. You are not smart enough. You do not deserve peace and abundance." You accept it without protection. You think this is the truth about you. When that voice frightens you and says, "The future economy will be very hard. Your life will certainly become difficult," you immediately feel panic. You feel that this is not only a prediction, you feel that it is your destiny. But the truth is, that voice is not you. It is only a result produced by your brain. This highly complex biological machine. It scans, compares, and predicts so that you can survive in an ancient, dangerous environment. It is not essentially different from your other organs. Your heart beats day and night to keep blood flowing. Your lungs keep breathing to bring in oxygen. Your stomach produces acid to digest food. Your brain, as a precise organ, produces thoughts. Think carefully. Would you treat saliva in your mouth as your soul? Would you think your stomach acid represents your true nature? Of course you would not. Then why do you stubbornly treat the electrical signals and messy thoughts produced by your brain as the real you? If this non-stop voice is not the real you, if these many thoughts are not the real you, then who are you? This brings us to the second central idea we need to explore today. It is also a very important ability in cognitive philosophy and deeper psychology. It is the awakening of your inner observer. Only when you find this observer can you truly take the key that opens the noisy cage of thought. To help you understand this abstract idea, let us use a very concrete example close to daily life. Imagine that you are standing by a very busy city street. The wide road represents your brain. The cars moving quickly across the road represent the thoughts that your brain keeps producing every moment. Now let us look at how most people react to these thoughts. Whenever a car comes from the far end of the road, people who have not awakened fall into an automatic reaction. They rush into the road, open the door of that car, jump in without hesitation, sit in the passenger seat, and let the car take them to an unknown place. For example, a red car drives toward you with its horn sounding. On the car are the words, anxiety. You stand by the road and do not realize that this is only a passing car. The automatic program of your brain makes you jump. As soon as you get in, the car takes you into a heavy and stressful scene. You start to worry. What if my investments continue to fall next month? What if medical bills suddenly increase? What if my children do not live the way I expected? What if my spouse has health problems? What if my retirement savings are not enough? You sit inside the car of anxiety and let it carry you forward at high speed. In your mind, you truly experience one inner disaster after another, even though none of them has happened. At last, this car stops. You have barely taken a breath when another black car speeds toward you. On the car are the words, anger. Once again, you jump in without protection. This car immediately takes you back to a scene from this morning. You remember the person who spoke in an unfriendly way. You remember the sentence that made you uncomfortable. You remember their expression. You remember that you did not respond in time. You sit inside the car of anger. Your hands tighten. Your jaw becomes tense. You burn again with an emotion that had already passed. This is the real day of many people. From morning to night, you keep jumping from one thought car to another. You are carried here and there by them. This is why many people today do not do any heavy physical labor. They may only sit in an office. They may only sit at home. They may only handle small daily tasks. But by evening, they feel completely drained. It is because their spirit and mental energy have already run for a very long distance inside the traffic of thoughts and emotions. Their energy has been consumed by these meaningless virtual journeys. But how do people with true wisdom face all of this? Awakened people still live in this world. Their brains still produce thoughts. They also stand beside this busy road. But when they see the red car called anxiety driving toward them, they do not rush to open the door. They simply stand calmly on the sidewalk. They look at the car without judgment. They watch it come from a distance, pass in front of them, continue toward the far side, and disappear from sight. They may say quietly inside, "I see that the anxious thought about my future finances has appeared again. Please pay close attention to the small but decisive difference here." When you say in daily life, "I am anxious," your subconscious has already fused you and anxiety into one thing. You have already jumped completely into that uncontrolled car. You have become a hostage of emotion. But when you say quietly inside, "I notice that I have an anxious thought," the situation becomes completely different. In the moment this sentence appears, you have already pulled yourself out of that oppressive car in psychological space. You are no longer the frightened passenger. You have become the quiet observer standing steadily on the sidewalk. This is the central wisdom that deeper teachings have always tried to share. It is a choiceless awareness. When you practice this awareness, you do not need to block the traffic. Do not imagine that you can use strong willpower to force your thoughts to stop. That is very hard to do, and it may even cause a stronger rebound. Just as you cannot use your physical body to stop a fast-moving car in real life, trying to destroy thoughts will only bring deeper pain. At the same time, you do not need to judge the car. Do not complain that this thought is too dark. Do not blame the car for being ugly. Do not resent it for appearing again and again. The only thing you need to do, and the most powerful thing you can do, is simply stand there and watch it. Once you begin to honestly observe a thought, one of the greatest miracles in human awareness begins to happen. The thought that once seemed fierce and impossible to defeat quickly loses its power over you under your observation. One is this action. The logic behind it is very clear. At the most basic level of awareness, the observer cannot be the observed object at the same time. When your eyes are looking at a cup on the table, you clearly know that you are not the cup. You also know that you exist apart from the cup. In the same way, when you can clearly see the anger, anxiety, fear, sadness, jealousy, shame, or worry rising inside you, in that moment, you are no longer that emotion. You have separated yourself from the emotion. In that instant of seeing, you move from being a prisoner of thought and emotion to becoming the master of awareness. Let us apply this deep wisdom directly to ordinary life. Next time, when a casual complaint from your spouse, an unintentional rejection from a coworker, or an impatient expression from your child makes your blood rush upward, and you are about to raise your voice, and you are about to say words that hurt someone, try to press a pause button in your heart 1 second before the emotion fully breaks out. At that critical moment, imagine that a high-definition camera has been turned on behind your head. Through this third-person camera, quietly look at yourself. Look at your heartbeat speeding up because of anger. Look at your hands shaking slightly because of the body's reaction. Look at your normally intelligent brain boiling like hot water at this moment. Look at the many words rising inside it, words that could deeply hurt the other person. During this completely detached observation, you will personally confirm a surprising fact that anger, which seemed able to swallow you in a single moment and take away your reason, begins to melt slowly like snow meeting sunlight, simply because you have added a layer of calm observation. That angry emotion becomes like a performer whose trick has been exposed in public. It realizes that it can no longer control your behavior like a puppet. It loses interest and then quietly leaves the stage of your awareness. This is the ultimate power of awareness. To see is to be free. You do not need to grit your teeth to defeat anger. You do not need to painfully suppress your sadness. You only need to quietly watch it. It will pass through your body like a gust of wind, and then naturally disappear into emptiness. When we speak about this inner observer, you must understand one thing. This observer is the true you that goes beyond time, environment, and emotion. It is steady and unchanged. It is like the vast and deep sky. The many thoughts and emotions you experience every day are only clouds floating through this sky. Clouds have countless forms. Some are light and white. Some are dark and heavy. Sometimes they bring strong wind, rain, lightning, and thunder. But the sky is never turned black by dark clouds. The sky is never made wet by the storm. The sky does nothing. It simply allows all clouds to pass through, stay for a while, and then disappear. Your awareness is this sky. When you begin to practice this kind of detachment and observation in the small details of daily life, you will slowly discover that something very precious appears inside your once crowded mind. That thing is space. Between an outside stimulus and your automatic reaction, there is no longer a tight, instant, conditioned response. A flexible, empty space begins to appear. This brief, empty space is the only home of your free will in this world. In this space, you gain the right to choose. You are no longer a slave of biology and environment. You can choose not to be carried away by one sentence. You can choose not to turn another person's attitude into your own suffering. You can choose not to let one thought decide your whole day. You can choose not to tear open old wounds again and again. You can choose not to turn a future that has not happened into a disaster ahead of time. But when we reach this point, we need to ask a deeper question. Why is the brain, this precise machine shaped by millions of years of evolution, so passionate about making noise? Why is it always like a restless monkey refusing to stay quietly in this moment? To answer this question, we must touch the deeper psychological root of human anxiety. That root is the great illusion of time. To understand this behavior of the brain, we must clearly separate two very different ideas: physical time and psychological time. Physical time is objective. It is the movement of the clock. It is the rhythm of the earth, turning and moving around the sun. It is the tool we rely on to schedule meetings, catch a flight, cook a pot of soup, take medicine on time, and arrive at an appointment. Physical time is functional. It is needed for human cooperation. There is no problem with physical time. What truly pulls us into deep suffering is the second idea, psychological time. Psychological time is not objectively real. It is completely created by your brain as a way to escape the present moment. It is the past that refuses to leave. It is the future covered with fog. If you look from the angle of evolutionary psychology, you will reach a conclusion that may challenge your usual thinking. The human brain was not designed to make you feel happy, peaceful, and joyful in this world. The most basic task of the brain is to keep you alive in a complex environment. To complete this difficult survival task, this biological machine must stay alert like radar. It must do two things day and night. First, it keeps scanning backward into the past. It wants to learn lessons from your past failures, pain, and wounds, so that you do not fall into the same hole twice. Second, it keeps scanning forward into the future. It wants to use your past experience to predict every possible danger and shortage, so that you can prepare early. This is why you often find it so difficult to live in the present moment. This is why you are often filled with worry. It is not because you are flawed as a person. It is because your biological structure was designed this way. In order to protect you, your brain keeps living in regret about the past and concern about the future. When you walk on the street, it may suddenly jump out and remind you that several years ago, in a similar place, you trusted someone and suffered a loss. It tells you that you must now stay alert, and you must not trust anyone too easily. Or when you look at your bank account, it may suddenly tell you that although you have enough money now, your expenses may become tight next month. You must immediately become anxious. You must quickly find more resources. In the ancient world, this sensitive warning system of the brain really helped our ancestors avoid. It helped them get through harsh conditions. This system once protected human beings. But when we bring this ancient brain into a highly civilized and very complex modern society, this old protective system slowly becomes a burden on the spirit. The dangers modern people face every day are no longer wild animals that may jump out from the bushes. They are no longer the immediate loss of basic survival conditions. Most of the threats we face are abstract social pressures. They are a casual criticism from a manager. They are a meaningful look from a coworker. They are an unanswered text from a child. They are a small downward line in an investment account. They are a sentence from a family gathering that does not feel comfortable. But your brain mistakenly treats these abstract pressures of modern society as if they were ancient threats to survival. So the alarm system starts fully. It begins to run beyond its limit. It tries to solve these problems, which are not direct threats to life, by repeatedly turning over the past and worrying about the future inside psychological time. There is a very important logical problem here. The essence of life, or real existence, always happens only in the present moment. Please put aside all fixed opinions for a moment and think about this question calmly and rationally. In your long life, have you ever spent even 1 second actually living inside the past or the future? The answer is no. All the joy and sadness, all the success and failure, all the loss and gain you have experienced in your life, without exception, happened in specific moments of now. When you sit there remembering a beautiful or painful past, the act of remembering is happening now. When you imagine many possible futures with hope or worry, the act of imagining is still happening now. The past has already moved away with time. It is only a memory trace remaining in your brain. The future has not happened yet. It is only an image projected forward by your present fear and desire. In this world, what you can truly touch, see, and experience is always only this moment. All the mental pressure, inner exhaustion, and continuous anxiety you feel are, at their root, caused by one thing. Your body is here in the present time and space, but your mind has already run into the unreal past or future. Your body and mind are seriously split apart. We can use a very ordinary but vivid example from daily life to understand this split. Suppose you have just finished dinner and you are washing dishes in the kitchen. If you remove all the emotion you add to it, washing dishes is originally a simple physical action. You can feel the warmth of the water flowing across the back of your hand. You can feel the smooth surface of the bowl. You can hear the sound of running water. You can even smell the light, fresh scent of the dish soap. If your awareness can fully settle in this moment, washing dishes is only a neutral action. It may even have a quiet and peaceful feeling. But your brain, which is already used to making anxiety, often refuses to let you be this relaxed. It thinks that only paying attention to washing dishes is a waste. So while it mechanically guides your hands to clean the plates and bowls, it also pulls your awareness into an uneasy future. It begins playing an anxiety movie in your mind. After washing the dishes, you still need to help your children or grandchildren with something. You still need to handle bills. You still need to reply to messages. You still need to check tomorrow's plans. That simple thing, I clearly explained it yesterday. Why did they make the same mistake again today? What will happen to this child in the future? What will happen to the family next? What if my body has another problem? Prices are so high now. Life pressure is so heavy. What if the future becomes even harder? Look at this clearly. At this exact moment, your hands are in war. This is a relatively safe physical environment. There is no outside threat. But your mind has already crossed 10 years, 20 years, or even more. It has created a dramatic disaster movie about all kinds of possible difficulties for you and your family. As this movie plays in your mind, your chest becomes tight. Your breathing becomes faster. A strong irritation rises inside you. You may even want to put the plate down heavily in the sink. Please look clearly. Is it really the simple action of washing dishes that makes you so painful and restless? What truly makes you suffer is your uncontrolled brain adding heavy psychological time to the small act of washing dishes. Under the value system of modern society, we often hold a great illusion. We believe that if I think enough about the future, if I plan carefully enough, if I worry deeply enough, then I can control the future and avoid danger through thinking. But in many situations, this is only a trick of the brain. Excessive thinking filled with emotion not only fails to solve real problems, it also becomes like a black hole of energy. It consumes the precious strength that when your mind is fully occupied by fear and anxiety about the future, your cognitive bandwidth is squeezed. You cannot call upon clear logic and strong physical energy to complete even the simplest task in front of you with quality. Since we have already seen the deeper mechanism of this mental suffering, then as someone who wants to take back the leadership of life, how can we cut off this endless anxiety loop? In practical psychology and behavioral awareness, the answer is actually very simple. It is so simple that many people doubt it, but to actually do it in daily life requires deep awareness and repeated practice. This method is to step away from unreal thinking and return to the senses of your body. You need to know that all fear and all thinking, no matter how large and real they seem in your mind, are not physically present. They either have not happened or they have already passed. But your sight, hearing, touch, smell, breath, the pressure under your feet, and the temperature in your palms are real bridges that connect you to this moment. Thinking is often unreal. The senses are very real. The next time you feel that familiar wave of anxiety rising, the next time your brain begins unconsciously creating stories about the future, causing your heartbeat to speed up and your hands and feet to feel cold, please immediately begin a gentle but firm intervention. Use the remaining strength of your will to pull your scattered attention out of that imaginary fear movie. Bring it all back to the physical senses of this very moment. Do not think about logic. Do not rush to analyze why you are anxious. Simply feel, carefully feel the solid and slight pressure under your feet as they touch the floor. Feel the support of the chair beneath you. Feel the slight coolness as air enters your nose and moves into your lungs with each inhale. Feel the warmth as you exhale. Lift your ears and listen to the steady sound of the air conditioner outside the window, or the sound of cars passing far away, or the faint movement of a clock in the room. When you gather all the energy and bandwidth of your awareness into these tiny and ordinary sensory experiences, you will discover something surprising. The thinking machine in your brain suddenly stops running. The principle behind this is very clear. Human awareness has limited bandwidth. The brain cannot process two high-intensity tasks at the same time. When you place 100% of your attention on the sensory experience of the present moment, you occupy most of the neural pathways. Your brain no longer has enough resources to carry out complex anxiety thinking at the same time. In the moment when your attention is anchored in the senses, the psychological time that tortures you temporarily disappears. Without the future created by imagination, anxiety loses its soil. Without the past being chewed again and again, regret and complaint lose their source. In this moment, you do not judge. You do not analyze. You do not resist. You do not chase. You simply exist lightly as a living being in this moment. You must understand that this practice of returning to the senses is not passive escape from real difficulties. On the contrary, it is a higher level way of recharging a mental system that has been seriously overused. In this brief quiet, even if it lasts only a few dozen seconds without the noise of thought, your brain, which has been overloaded for many years, finally receives true rest. Only in this quiet without resistance can the intuition and real wisdom buried deep in your subconscious have a chance to pass through the noise and rise to the surface. Only then can they offer real insight for the problems you are facing. Many people mistakenly believe that only by thinking non-stop, analyzing non-stop, and comparing non-stop can they solve problems. But many truly important answers appear precisely when you stop in a struggle. Because in that moment you finally stop blocking the door of your heart with anxiety. Have you noticed that the rhythm of modern life is always very rushed? We are always hurrying on the road. We fill every minute with tasks and information. Deep inside, we have already treated this present moment as nothing more than a stepping stone toward an imagined future. We endure tiredness and frustration at work every day only for the beautiful retirement life we imagine decades later. We anxiously get through Monday to Friday only to wait for 2 days of weekend rest. We eat quickly only to move to the next task. We talk quickly only to exchange information. We travel quickly only to take a picture that proves we were there. Even when we sit at the same table with family, our heart has already flown to the next thing. If you do not learn to truly live in this moment, then you will never, because the future you are waiting for so hard is also made of one ordinary present moment after another. If your psychological structure and behavior habit have become completely used to waiting for the future and ignoring the present, then when the future you have long expected finally arrives, you still will not be able to enjoy it. You will automatically treat it as another stepping stone toward the next goal. You will become like a programmed machine. You will always live in anxious waiting. You will always chase a horizon that seems impossible to reach. Until life comes to its end, you may still not have truly experienced one complete day of life. So from this moment on, you can try a small experiment in your life. It is small, but it can change your experience of life. Try to treat life itself, and every small action in life as a pure purpose, not merely as a tool to reach another goal. When you walk in a park, or walk on your daily route, walking is simply walking. Feel the soft wind touching your face. Feel the rhythm of your feet meeting the ground. Feel the steadiness of your body moving through space. Do not only think about arriving at work or getting home as quickly as possible. When you drink a glass of water, drinking water is simply drinking water. Feel the coolness of the water moving through your throat. Feel the temperature of the cup against your palm. Do not only treat it as completing a physical need. When you talk with an old friend, listening is simply listening. Feel the rhythm in the other person's voice. See the emotion in their eyes. Do not listen while already thinking about what you should say next. When you clean your room, cleaning is simply cleaning. Feel the softness of the clothes. Feel the flatness of the table. Feel the space becoming clearer little by little. Do not treat it only as an annoying task that must be finished quickly. During this process, every time you notice that your attention has again been carried away by the non-stop voice in your mind, do not become frustrated. Do not harshly blame yourself. This is the habit of the brain formed over countless generations. You only need to gently bring your attention back, as if you were guiding a lost child home. Bring it back to your breath. Bring it back to your steps. Bring it back to the texture of the object your fingers are touching. Bring it back to this light in front of your eyes. Bring it back to this wind beside your ears. Bring it back to the body that truly exists in this moment. Real practice is not escaping the world and hiding in the mountains. Real practice happens in the kitchen, in the car, in the office, in the living room, and in every moment when emotion is about to carry you away. It is seeing yourself again. It is returning to the present again. Real peace does not mean that the world must run exactly according to your expectations. Real peace means that even when the world has wind and rain, you can still keep a wide sky inside your heart. When you no longer try to control time, time no longer chases you. When you no longer try to find safety through excessive thinking, true safety quietly arrives in this silence. You will slowly understand that many heavy things in life are not so heavy by themselves. They become heavy because you add too much imagination to them. You will slowly understand that what hurts you may be only one sentence from another person, but what makes you suffer for a long time is the story you keep telling yourself afterward. You will slowly understand that the past has passed and the future has not yet arrived. The only thing you can hold is this breath, this step, this present moment, and it is exactly here that you truly have the power to change. If during this long sharing, you followed my words and found a long-lost inner peace, if you saw clearly the cage of thought, please subscribe to this channel and give this video a like. I also sincerely hope you will leave a comment below. After hearing today's message about surrender and acceptance, look back at your own life and tell me, what reality are you resisting the most right now? What reality is causing the deepest inner exhaustion for you? Is it an unfair experience at work? Is it tension in your family? Is it a relationship that cannot be restored? Is it worry about changes in your body? Or is it uneasiness about the future of your life? Write it down with courage, because the moment you write it down, the moment seeing happens, is the true beginning of your movement towards surrender and real freedom. You do not need to become perfect immediately. You do not need to have no worries immediately. You only need to begin from this moment. Learn to see thoughts, learn to see emotions, learn to see the self that has been carried everywhere by the mind. Then stop gently, return to the breath, return to the present moment. This is where freedom begins.